like to invite up one of our friends who has been here many times and probably doesn't need a huge introduction because we all know her and love her and we're surrounding her with more love. And she's here to inspire us this morning, Reverend Peggy Price.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Debbie, I love that song. It's so beautiful because it really does speak to the subtlety of what we each can be and do. To shine our light in the sun. Maybe that goes like, well, the sun's already shining, they don't need my light. Oh yeah, they still need your light. Rain on a fountain, sand on a mountain. What beautiful images those are. And how it means that sometimes we feel like we're so small and can do so little, but everything we do matters because who we are matters. So I am happy to be back here today. I was just thinking as I was sitting there that when I was in ministerial school in my sophomore year, Reverend Shawn joined in her freshman year. We were at a one-room schoolhouse at that time, so we all took the same classes at the same time, but we rotated out according to how many classes we completed. So she was just a year behind me, and while I was a student, I interned here with Dr. Linda McNamara. So, and you were around then too, weren't you? And some of the others of you were around then too. We've all gone back a long way. That was over 22 years ago. Holy cow. Where'd the time go?
I was 12.
I know, I was going to say, none of us have gotten any older, right? We're all the same. So it's really good to be back here again. I always feel like this is one of my homes and it's nice to be here. Okay, you might be wondering, what the heck does she mean by sugar in the milk? First, I just want to make a disclaimer. I realize that some people absolutely shun sugar of every kind and call it toxic. Okay. I also realize that some may be lactose intolerant and don't drink milk because you're a vegan, right? So I just apologize to you for using sugar and milk together in the same sentence. If you're more comfortable with stevia in almond milk or soy milk, that's fine with me. Whatever works for you. But I loved the story. The story comes out of the Zoroastrian tradition. And last week at our Interfaith Council meeting, a man by the name of Manak Ujwala, who is a Zoroastrian priest, told us a lot about the history of Zoroastrianism, and which is really the oldest religion on the planet, organized religion on the planet. And also, although many attribute Judaism to be the first teaching of monotheism or one God, actually it was Zoroastrianism. Zarathustra also taught there's only one God. So this story comes out of what he was talking about, and I won't go into the entire talk because that would be not what I'm here to do. But according to the oldest writings, the Kisa, in Zoroastrian history, the religion originated in what was known as Persia. But the Zoroastrian people were driven out of Persia somewhere around 600 BCE by the Muslims who had then taken over the country. And they wandered for a time looking for a safe refuge where they could peacefully practice their religion. And they finally found it in southern India near what is now known as Mumbai. These Persian immigrants, known as Parsis, you know, the Persian language, they call it Farsi, but it was Parsi at that time, P-A-R-S-I-S, Persian Parsi, were granted permission to stay in that area in southern India by the local ruler, whose name was Jati Rana, on the condition that they adopt the local language, which was Gujarati, which is probably a version of Sanskrit, that their women adopt the local dress, wearing sari, and that they would henceforth cease to bear arms. They had to give up their weapons. The refugees accepted the conditions, and they founded their settlement of Sanjan, which was named after the original site of their people near what is now known as Turkmenistan. I did not look that up on a map. Is anyone here a geography buff? It's got to be somewhere near Iran. Anyway, the legend goes that the leader of the Zoroastrian refugees agreed to those terms, and he further told Jadiwana that they would not in any way interfere or disturb the people of the area, but they would rather be like sugar in the milk. You cannot see it, but it makes the milk sweeter. Isn't that beautiful? Talking about, people, strangers from a strange land, coming to a new place, feeling unfamiliar, feeling foreign, feeling all the feelings that anyone who's ever been transported to another place can feel, and yet they decided to be like sugar in the milk. There are so many ways in which we can interpret that today. I just love that image. Here we are right now, at this time in our world, attempting to know what to do about so many people who are running from danger, from life and death situations, from famine, from life-threatening conditions in different parts of our world. And it has caused so much conflict, and yet in some cases, it has also brought out the worst in people, hasn't it? Yeah. But here we are with this story that can also reflect a different viewpoint. We, meaning all of us as religious scientists and members of other New Thought movements, such as Unity, we hold a vision for a world that works for everyone. We just spoke of it in our mission statement this morning, and Seal Beach's mission statement also speaks to a world that works for everyone. That is a high calling. It's really a radical idea, and of course it's utopian in its vision. But there's no reason why we should not work together to do whatever we can to move toward that vision. The Zoroastrian, that's hard to say, Zoroastrian, try saying that 3 times fast. The Zoroastrian people must have seemed very strange to the people of southern India. Although they all were from the Asian continent, they appeared very different in terms of their physical appearance. And they spoke different languages, so there was also the struggle to be learning this new language. And if anyone has ever gone to another country where you are struggling to use the language of a country where you may have studied the language a bit, it's exhausting. I've done that often because I speak French, and when I go to France, I really work hard to try to speak the language there, and by the end of the day, my brain is like, drained. But it's important to me that I try to do that. So I can understand what it is when someone comes to our country with a different language and struggles to speak English. At the same time, they found their way to work together non-violently, and the Zoroastrians found a new home, and by the way, that area is still occupied by many Zoroastrian people. We also have a Zoroastrian community here in Southern California, and they have a temple in Westminster, on Westminster Boulevard. If you would ever be interested, they do have a Sunday service, and they welcome everyone, just like we do. Every major spiritual text speaks to the idea of welcoming the stranger. In the book of Hebrews, we hear, "Do not forget to entertain strangers, for by so doing, some have unwittingly entertained angels." I love that. By entertaining strangers, we unwittingly can entertain angels. So often, from the time we're kids, we're told not to trust strangers, right? And yet, it's that opening up to someone different than ourselves that it gives us the opportunity to entertain angels, to build new friendships and new bonds, and to be an angel ourselves in the process. So we often teach in our wonderful teaching of Science of Mind, of New Thought, that we are all one. That is one of the tenets of our teaching, that we are all one, and that there can be no other because we are all one in God. That there can be no one against us because God is for us. And if God is for us, who can be against us, right? This is part of our teaching. We teach and believe that each one of us is an individualized expression of the one, of God. And that each of us matters. Just like rain on a fountain, sand on a mountain. We all matter. And yet, I would venture to guess that there are some here in this very room